God and what the British did to us. Come home to Israel. 65 years ago, when 6 million Jews were desperately clawing to get out of Europe to find a place where to go, there was no place. That's not a chesed. Atzmut, independence. This is Matnas Hashem, the Rebbeinu giving us Eretz Yisrael. Yisbodenu Chazdei Hashem. I don't know how the Rebbeinu takes it. I can't. All right, I'm going to say it, but don't say all these things. You don't have to go out into the street and say everything that I say, We can keep, we're a nice, intimate group over here. I think we should be able to talk like friends. I can't for the life of me understand how anything as ridiculous and absurd as this has ever happened. If you don't thank the Rabbi Sholom, you're a fruder. And if you say Hallel, and you thank the Rabbi Sholom for all the Chasodim, Mizruchnik, or worse. No, there isn't worse. That's the worst. How does this happen? How in heaven's name does this happen? We have a chiyuv of Yisbodenu Chazdei Hashem to thank the Rabbi Sholom. But I get up on the Yom Yerushalayim and the Yom Ha'atzmaut and I say Hallel with tremendous kavanah. And then if you shuffle around during the course of the day, looking sad like you lost your best friend, that's from. How did this happen? I can't for the life of me, I don't understand how it happened. If I was talking of Rashi, I've put together a list of my favorite Rashis. One of them was just in last week's Sedra, the Chukosai. It's an unbelievable Rashi. In middle of the Tochacha, with all sorts of terrible, frightening and terrifying curses on all sides, there's one little pasuk tucked away over there in the folds of the Tochacha. If you wouldn't have Rashi, we might have not noticed what it says. V'hashimoti ani et ha'aretz, I will make the land desolate. V'shomamu aleha oyevechem hayoshim bo, and your enemies who live in the land are going to be desolate. Rashi says, Zu mida tova, this is a great measure for Klal Yisrael. This is an awesome bracha. Listen to the bracha. Shalom yimtzu ha'oivin, the enemy will never find contentment in the land. Shalom yimtzu ha'oivin nachas ruach. Shetiya shomei, while the land is going to be desolate. I had once, for about 10 seconds, thought to myself, is it possible that after he wrote this, Rashi got up one night in a cold sweat? Maybe someday a really industrious people are going to conquer Eretz Yisrael, the Japanese, and they're going to turn it into a Garden of Eden. Rashi says no. The enemy will never find any contentment in this country. It's going to be desolate. Believe me, Rashi never got up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night. Because Rashi knows ultimate truth is a pasuk in Torah. The pasuk says, V'shomamu oleha yivechem, your enemies are going to be desolate. That's exactly what's going to happen. Do you understand? For 1900 years, nobody was able to settle it. The Crusaders tried their best and they failed, and the Ottomans failed, and the Byzantines failed, and the Mamelukes failed, and the Romans, and they all failed. Do you know 1900 years of Hashgacha Pratis? Real Hashgacha Pratis. The only country in the world, nobody was able to settle it. Nobody was able to settle it. And Jews come to Eretz Yisrael, and the land begins to give out its fruit. It's an awesome nest. It's a pellet, it's not a nest. And we see it before our very eyes. We see it before our very eyes. I don't need any proof that Moshe Emes for Torah Emes. You know, I have a vivid imagination. And in my vivid imagination, I once I saw a vision. The fact is, it was 2 years ago I saw the vision. I'm standing by the Gesher HaMeitarim. What do you call it in English? You know the big bridge, the new bridge at the entrance to Yerushalayim? It's after sunset, as Yom Yerushalayim is about to begin. And I'm standing there on the street, not in the middle of the street, on the street, on the sidewalk. And you know, it's getting darker little by little, and the traffic is moving in all directions. Cloud, haze. I begin to see apparitions coming before me. One figure, a second figure, a third, a fourth, a group of beings that seem to be as though they've come from the other side, from elsewhere. And they're surrounding me on all sides. And we begin to introduce ourselves to one another. First one says, "My name is Moshe ben Nachman. I came to this city in 1267. I came to Yerushalayim in 1267. You know how many people, how many Jews were living in this city? 2. And they only had received special permission. 2 Jews lived in Yerushalayim. Their job was dying. They were dyers. They dyed things. 2 Jews in Yerushalayim. And by the way, that was most probably 2 more than there had been for 300 years before that. The Romans had prohibited Jews from coming into the city all year except one day. Tisha B'Av, they let them come in and cry their eyes out. For hundreds of years, no Jews set foot over here. The Ramban comes, there are 2 Jews. 2 Jews. The next figure says, I came from Italy. My name is Ovadia Mibar Tanura. So I tell him, Ovadia Mibar Tanura, do you know they finally put you into the Kahati Mishnayos? The Bar Tanura. He came in 1492. There were 200 Jews in the city. 200 Jews in Yerushalayim. The Sholom came in 1688. There may have been 1,000 Jews in the city. Rabbi Yehuda Chosid comes in 1700. A little more, by the way. Each one of them writes, Bar Tanura couldn't come into the city for 2 years because there was a plague in the city. So he waited in Akko until the plague passed. The Ramban had to leave soon after he arrived. The Sholom was thrown out of the city by the local Arab rulers. They were Chodesh him at Chorba. Fast forward, 1955, gold comes to Yerushalayim. There are 146,000 Jews in the city. 146,000. Understand what's happening over here? We haven't yet gotten to today where there are 500,000 Jews. This is all awesome miracles taking place.